What's up, guys? Thank you for joining me today. I had a little training exercise I wanted to do for myself and thought I'd film it, so I figured this might make for a good video. This is going to be a EDC pocket overnighter / survival challenge. I carry stuff in my pockets every day out of a preparedness mindset, with the idea that if I have to spend an unplanned overnighter in the woods, that I would have stuff with me to facilitate that, but I've never actually tried it before. So this is going to be a first, to see if all these things that I carry with me on a daily basis will actually work out and benefit me in this scenario. So before I go any further, I'm going to stop and show you guys what I actually do have in my pockets, and we'll see how this shakes out. Alright, so I'm just going to start going through my pockets and showing you guys what I have. First is just a handheld flashlight. I have a cotton bandana. Obviously the phone that I'm filming this with. I have a just a basic utility knife, nothing fancy. On my keys, I carry a small little ferro rod. A little pry bar that might come in handy. Some chapstick, a lighter wrapped in duct tape. In my wallet, I actually carry a few sheets of tinfoil. The idea behind this is that I can mold this into a cup that I can boil water in. I've seen it done, but I've never done it myself. So we're going to try that today for the first time. About 8 feet of paracord. A cat tourniquet. On my right side, I carry a Glock 19 with an extra light source. On my left side, I carry a small fixed blade knife. And an extra magazine for my gun. So these are the things I have with me every single day. And yes, I do carry all of this stuff every single day, everywhere I go. So the idea behind it, again, is that I can use this stuff to facilitate me surviving out here in the woods and secure the 3 pillars of survival, being fire, water, shelter. So we're gonna see how it goes. I almost forgot my watch. This is a GPS and compass built into my watch, so I can use that for navigation. And also, it's not a lot of cordage, but it's a little bit on my necklace here that I have my wedding ring on. I'm looking for a place to shelter up for the night. It's gonna get into the mid-30s, so kind of chilly. I need something to shelter in, but I don't have any tools with me, really. So I need something that's pretty ready-made that I don't have to put a ton of work into. And let me show you what I'm thinking. So there's this little ridge right here. So here's what I've found. There's this little ridge that runs through here, and I can just kind of sit here and lean against it. And this is pretty comfortable. I can fashion something to get up over my head and give me a little bit of insulated value. So I think this is what we're going with for tonight. Kind of what I got going on here is a little bit of like a chair. And the reason I put this chair back here against this ground is just to separate me from the earth, so that I don't have as much heat loss due to conduction by actually laying on the ground. Now the only part of me that's actually touching the earth is my butt. So I just need to insulate under my butt, and that's going to there's a lot less of me that I have to insulate or worry about touching the ground than if I was like laying out flat. Then my entire body would be subject to conductive heat loss to the ground. So this limits that, and it's not bad to sit here. My idea for overhead cover is just to make a really quick, simple tripod, and I can use my necklace and this little bit of cordage that's on my necklace to do this real fast. Just slip this over here and just take one of these poles and just rotate it a bunch of times till it tightens this up. Well, this ain't bad. I just need to get this covered with leaves, and then this is going to hold any of my radiant body heat and some of that heat coming off my fire to hold it down on me. One thing I could have done is made this a lot shorter, like to here, because heat rises, so it's going to fill up to the top up here first and have to work its way down. If I'd have made this shorter, I would need less heat to hold that heat onto my core, but that's okay. We'll just remember that for next time. But I think this is going to work out pretty good. So since it is going to get into the 30s tonight, I need to be conscious about not sweating and getting my basically only piece of cover, which is this flannel shirt, wet. So if you do start to work up a bit of a sweat and it's in the winter time, like it's February right now, you're going to want to shed some layers and make sure that you don't get these wet, because you're going to be miserable at night if this is the only thing you have to put on and it's wet because you've been sweating it all day. I've just dug this out a little bit to give my butt somewhere to kind of, a little shelf that I can sit on that'll just kind of hold me so I don't just slide down this hill, because that would be miserable fighting that all night. There are so many freaking roots in here, and all I've got to dig with is just stick. I want to get these roots out of here because I don't want to start a fire on top of these roots and risk starting a root fire. These roots could burn and start to smolder, and they could just slowly smolder and follow these roots through the ground, and fire could pop up somewhere else. And I just can't risk that. But man, this is, I would kill to have a freaking shovel right now. Fire pit here, mostly cleared out of roots, but there's still, you can see that right there, some little random stuff. So I'm going to go down to this creek that's literally like 20 yards away and get a couple handfuls of sand and kind of fill all this over with sand to be the base of this little fire pit. So our three pillars of survival: fire, water, shelter. Shelter we've got. We're done with that. Fire and water, well, as far as fire goes, just as I've been building today, I've just been gathering up a whole bunch of random little dry stuff that I find, just tossing in a pile right here. So I got a decent little pile, at least get this fire going. I'm gonna have to gather a lot more wood to have a fire all through the night. But fire and water are the two things that we don't have yet that we need. And I'm gonna take care of both of those at the same time. I'm not gonna light this fire until I get my water ready to boil. That way that initial heat from lighting that fire can assist me in getting that water boiling. So I'm gonna go ahead and prep this fire lay, get everything ready, and then we're gonna work on making a container out of that tin foil and seeing if we can get some water up here to boil. Got my little bowl finished. Here's what I come up with. So let's go down to the creek, see if we can gather some water, see if we can get it boiling. I'm gonna try to use my bandana to pre-filter this water a little bit. I don't want all this turbidity and junk going in here that I'm about to drink. I'm trying to be really careful not to disturb the water. I know I'm pre-filtering it through this bandana, but the least amount I disturb it, the better. That'll be the less turbidity that's even having to be pre-filtered out at all. All right, got us a bowl full of water. It's pretty clear. I've got quite a few sticks laying here on the ground because this sand and dirt under here is quite wet and cold. And I don't want this fire having to fight conduction to the ground, you know, through my little pot here to try to get this water to boil. So I'm gonna set my little pot here up on these sticks. And then I'm just gonna build the fire initially out in front of it and then around it. All right, we have boilage. Let me see if it'll focus. There we go. Starting to boil. So this will work. Now I'm guessing that this is not going to be a container that I can get multiple boils out of. You know, after this initial drink of water, I would start using coals to make a burned out bowl or something. But as you can see right there, for like an emergency, you know, container that I can carry in my wallet that I can actually boil water in, it is working. So while our water's cooling down back there, I'm going to start gathering up firewood for the night. So I picked an area that there's a lot of fallen stuff around here, so it shouldn't be hard for me to pull up a pretty decent pile relatively easy. Water has cooled down now, and it looks absolutely terrible. But it's potable, it's safe to drink. That's disgusting. So I'll just go ahead and tell you too, if you've never built a shelter or stayed in a shelter like this, you can expect to have spiders coming down and getting on you during the night and landing on your face. Just know that's going to happen. Just deal with it. And also, you're constantly, every time you move and touch this, you're going to have debris, little pieces of leaves and stuff falling through these cracks and getting on you. So a hat is really nice for that, either a hat or a beanie or something. You can just pull down in front of your face when you're trying to get some sleep. That way all that crap is not going right into your eyes and mouth, because it's going to happen. So just be aware of that if you build something like this and intend to stay in it. That's be the last bit of firewood for tonight. That's a pretty good stack. I didn't have to walk further than like 35 or 40 yards to get any of this, including all the materials I used to build the shelter. But I want to make sure I have enough wood for a night, because without any thing to go over me, like a blanket or sleeping bag or anything, I'm really relying on this fire and this shelter to keep me warm tonight. Okay. We got our shelter done. We got firewood stacked for the night. We got some more water on to boil. Now the only thing left to do is wait for it to get dark and survive the night. So it's about 12:45 and I'm not cold. The fire and the shelter are doing their job on that. And this shelter is relatively comfortable if I wanted to sit here and watch the fire all night, which I don't really want to do for 12 straight hours. I would like to sleep, but I can't really lay my head back comfortably. There's just nothing to support my head, so I'm gonna have to start EDCing a pillow or something, I guess. But the fire's working out good. It's keeping my legs warm and keeping me warm, just kind of like I imagined. Oh, it's 6:20 in the morning. The sun is just starting to kind of come up over these trees where I can see. Before I headed out, I wanted to give you guys a few of my closing thoughts. I was able to boil multiple times in this little foil bowl, and it worked really well, and it's still solid enough that I could continue to boil in it. So my initial assessment of maybe this being a one-time use item is not correct. I don't know how many times I could boil in this before it was completely gone, but it has held up really well. And this was pretty successful in my mind. Shelter's good, fire was good. We survived, down close to freezing with nothing but what was in my pockets. So, well, I'm gonna put this fire out and get out of here. Thank you guys for joining me. Hope you enjoyed it.